excuse me. I was talking to one of my friends at work, at her work, about an experience she had hunting. She went out with her boyfriend one night, and he was hunting wild boar, which I didn't even realize we had those here. I know there's a lot on Big Island, but I guess we do. They're up in the mountains. So they're out there with their dogs, and they're in a national park. So right away, you probably have an idea what kind of story this is going to be. The thing with these, and before I just tell you, the thing with these national parks is there's some kind of deal worked out where they can take from those national parks, where they can take people for, you know, food or whatever, and that's why people disappear and they never find them, whatever. That's my informational intro. They take people in the parks and whatever. But she was up there hunting with her boyfriend, and she was at the car. And he was out there with the dogs. And what happened was she heard this growling and heard like these weird noises that sounded like a person, like a person, but a dog, like a dog person. It's like growling, but sort of making human noises too, and it freaked her out. So she said like it jumped on the hood of the car, and she got out of the car and started like running, you know, to get away from it. And this thing jumped off the car and started chasing her. And it was real dark, and her dogs came out of nowhere and chased the thing off. But she got herself disoriented from where the car was and couldn't find her way back, and started hearing the thing again. And so dogs couldn't see anything because they're out in the mountains at night hunting these fucking wild pig. So she said what went on for like the next hour is her just moving, sort of running and moving from place to place whenever she would hear this thing again. And it kept getting close to her, and when it would get close, the dogs would growl at it, and it was like this cat and mouse thing where he was following her around, but the dogs were there to fend this thing off. So she said she's doing this for like an hour. She goes maybe 45 minutes, and she hears her boyfriend yelling for her. So she makes her way over to him, catches up with him, and she's way the fuck away from where the car was. He was out looking for her, and he said he was looking for her for 4 hours. So she somehow got into some sort of time displacement type of thing, and you hear a lot of these stories have a time loss element to them, like with alien abductions. You know, I don't think those are actually aliens, but whatever. They always have a missing time element where a lot of time goes by in a short period of time, or vice versa. There's a screwy time thing. I'm not gonna go into. This guy goes, I don't trust any of these motherfuckers when they get behind the wheel. There we go, buddy. He doesn't know where he is. He's like looking up in the air. Wow. Yeah, you gotta really watch these people. But anyway, I think that the time displacement, it has to do with the cryptids or whatever they are themselves. I think possibly what's happening in that situation, because you always hear things about the time displacement, I think it centers around the beings themselves, like, because they're chipped. They chip them like you chip animals to kind of keep track of them. You know, they do it these things too. A lot of them are created hybrids that are created in these DUMBs, these deep underground bases. And the relations in national parks is that's federal land. They own it, they can get away with doing stuff. It's not private property. So that's why, you know, you have all these disappearances in these parks. And it's like a sacrifice zone, pretty much. they have the green light to take whatever they want in there. But the time displacement, I believe, comes from the actual thing being tagged. Mine is nice. They were tagged by the researchers, whoever working on them. And the little thing, the tag, is what causes the time displacement, because I think that's how they move around. And I did a video about this the other night, but I couldn't use it because the lens is covered in coconut oil and it made me seethe. But the way, when you talk about time displacement and time travel, the high level farmers do it. They're not time traveling. They're just getting out of this dimensional space, this 3D dimensional space that our bodies exist in, that we're kind of stuck in. Is the only place that I know of where time occurs, where they have time. You know, they don't have time anywhere else. So if you can get a way to remove yourself from this frequency or this plane of existence or whatever, if you move outside this area, well, now you're time traveling. You moved outside of time. This is done a variety of ways, but it always involves some kind of spun mercury or liquid mercury, and the color purple huan, or is it huan purple? You know, components of a spell, of course, because it's all this stuff is just, you know, components of a spell. That's all it is. It's this, in this city, man, you're forced to walk into the fucking streets so many times, and I don't have to tell you that people cannot drive here, so it's scary. It's just a lack of self-awareness. You know, people don't realize there's other people around them. Just like they're not working with the full deck of eggs. You know, they're not the sharpest egg in the drawer. You know, so so that's, I think, what's going on with the time displacement situation when it comes to the national parks. I think it's the things that are tagged, and that's how they get around. There's a lot more to this, but I don't know how interesting I can make it. But yeah, it's a crazy story. So she felt like she was gone 45 minutes, but she's actually gone for 4 hours. I don't know too much about this state park phenomenon thing, the 411. I haven't done too much time looking into it. She has, you know, I think because of this experience she had years ago. I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago this happened to her. Interesting shit, though. Too much interesting shit, man. Too much interesting shit. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.